doing some jumps as a warm-up. So I'm doing some single leg jumps. I just start by doing jumps on one leg, switch legs, and then I'll do a dot drill, forward, back, side to side, on one leg, kind of like a hopscotch. We used to do this in high school football, and I remember thinking, what are we doing here? What's the point of this? And 20 years later, I'm like, dang, this is actually pretty tough. And then what I'll do from there, I'll do single leg jumps, tuck jumps, where I pull my knee up, and I'll leave a couple of bounces in between. If you have not tried single leg jumps, they're extremely humbling. They're tough, difficult to do. Next progression, same single leg tuck jumps, but this time I'm just gonna land and go. Okay, so this is a Q&A video. The theme is gym ownership. I meant to do this last month in September. September 2024 was my 11-year anniversary of opening Untamed Strength, September 2013, and I wanted to do it last month. I've just been too busy. So here I am, finally doing this Q&A, and I'm overwhelmed by the questions. There's a lot of questions, a lot of really, really good questions. They're genuine, well thought out questions. It's not just a simple one-word answer and not a yes and no question. So I fear that I am in over my head. I'm gonna try, my plan was to do this training session and answer some questions. I might do more talking than I do training, we'll see. But I'm excited to answer these questions. So who knows how long this video is gonna be. I might not even finish all the questions today. I might do it in another training session, we'll see. So single leg jumps, and then I'm gonna move on to some clean variation. It's sort of ironic that I'm here in my garage talking about gym ownership. Why am I not in my gym? And the only reason is I just hate recording videos in the gym. I hate being that guy who's talking to himself in the corner of the gym. Even if I come really early in the morning, still members there. And out of respect, they try to avoid, like I don't want them to feel like they have to avoid me because they don't want to get on camera or they don't want to ask me a question because I'm talking. It's not a recording studio, it's a gym. So I just do it in my garage with my bells of steel garage gym. So I can just freely talk to the camera, not worrying about being that guy in the gym. These are from Instagram and from YouTube community posts. So there's a few questions, I'll read some of them, about, asking, is this actually profitable to start your own gym? Let me find some of them that I saw this morning. Questions like, is having a gym profitable? Like, honestly, how long will it be profitable? And then, is it hard to make money and own a gym? I feel like it's normal for gyms to close down. I feel like gyms closing down is so normal these days. I feel so many gyms these days open and close within 2 to 5 years. Is it actually doable? Is it profitable? So yes, certainly gyms can be profitable. Untamed Strength is profitable. There's countless other gyms around the world that are profitable. Some not so much, but that's just the gamble you take when you open your own business. It's not even exclusive to gym ownership, it's just business ownership. And if I was to guess, the main reason for why gyms close, period, let alone quickly, is financial reasons. And so my guess is that people are either starting too big, starting with more, they have this big, huge hope and dream, and they just start too big. They spend more money than they should be. They spend money they don't have, and they just get in over their head. No pun intended, their overhead is too high. And so I'm assuming that's the reason. Or they're just kind of maybe 1 foot in, 1 foot out with gym ownership and with business ownership. They think, oh, if I build it, they will come. And so they put an effort into building a gym, and then they kind of just sit back and wait and hope that it works out. It takes a lot of tinkering, a lot of attention. You've got to water it, you've got to feed it, you've got to get it sunlight, you've got to tend to it in order to get it to grow. And maybe people don't realize how much work it is to actually start a gym. So I'm assuming that that's why gyms would close within 2 to 5 years. It's usually like the first lease. A lease on a building is usually 2 to 5 years. And so after that first round, when it comes time to, hey, do you want to lock in for another 2 to 5 years? They decide not to. And then the question, like, honestly, how long will it be profitable? I don't see gyms going anywhere anytime soon. I think the demand for a gym is going to be around for as long as I live, so I don't see why it wouldn't be profitable in 10 years or 20 years. Even with the rise of fads like tonal or home gym type stuff, I think that there will always be a demand for an in-person physical location where people can go exercise, where people can go train. And I think that nothing at all, even AI coaching or AI programming, nothing can replace human interaction, a human coach, to get some real eyes on you in person. And so I don't think that's going anywhere, at least within my lifetime. So I don't see why it couldn't be profitable for, decades to come. So I'm doing some cleans. I'm going to do block cleans, which I'll use these crash pads for to rise the bar off the ground a little bit. And then a hang pause clean. This is from Haas Project, Haas Olympic. This is a very Will Rattel-esque video in my garage, training, doing jumps, doing cleans, and answering questions. How close have you been to closing the gym? Would you do it all over again? Did you earn more from coaching, YouTubing, the gym? Would you consider selling Untamed Strength? How close have you been to closing the gym? Never even thought of it. Never close. Even when I was really struggling, first couple years, I never thought, oh man, I'm gonna have to close this place down. I just never had a plan B, never had a backup plan, never envisioned myself doing anything other than this. And so, yeah, I just never even considered it. It was just, how am I gonna get by this month? And that was it. I never thought of it, never considered it. Even during 2020 and 2021, during COVID, I never even thought, like, this is the end. This is gonna close down the gym. And I know my situation is different than a lot of other people. Thankfully, I had some online revenue from YouTube. I could do online coaching and stuff like that. But as far as the gym goes, I'm eternally grateful that the majority of gym members didn't cancel their membership. Some did, but it was justified, and they lost their job, so they had to cancel their membership. But not too many did, for a couple of reasons. One, I think that it's a good community, and so they just realized, I'm gonna stick with this. I'm gonna ride it out with the gym owner, which I appreciate. I think that I rented out most of the equipment, bars, plates, strongman equipment, and so people were still able to use my equipment. And I think it just kind of went without saying, like, hey, don't cancel your membership, you can borrow some equipment and rent it out. And then I just took a list of it and asked people to return it whenever I reopened or whenever I said that it was time to resume normal operation. And to be honest, a lot of people still trained. Literally, like the day it was announced that the world is shut down, people still came in the gym and worked out. And I didn't tell people to stay out. So anyways, and then I think on top of that, just being strung along the whole time was maybe worked out for the better, because it was like, hey, we're gonna close down the world for 2 weeks. We're gonna reopen May, we're gonna reopen June, July, August. And it just kept being like, oh, we have a date to look forward to. So people just hung on in hopes that things would go back to normal sooner than it did. And on top of that, as I drove around, during that time, drove around town, I saw a bunch of places open. There was like a smoke shop down the street that was open, people in the parking lot. And I just thought, look, if people are operating business there, why can't I operate business? And, contrary to popular belief, people think California was on like super strict lockdown for the longest period of time. Maybe like Los Angeles, but not in Sacramento. Cops weren't, law enforcement wasn't knocking down doors and telling business owners to close. So nobody came in, nobody told me or threatened me, you need to close down the city, this and that. So I never ran into that. So no, I never thought about closing the gym. Would you do it all over again? So yes, I would. I'll save more on that for another question. Do you earn more coaching, YouTubing, or from the gym? My main source of income is gym membership. So here's how I earn money. I earn money through gym membership, personal training, apparel, selling t-shirts, and YouTube revenue. And I do some like online coaching as well. Those are the main sources. I used to have like a barbell medicine. I still do have barbell medicine discount and Pioneer Fit discount. And I used to earn more from them, but I barely, like, dollars at this point, hardly any from there. But right now, my biggest source of revenue is from gym memberships. There was a time, for a long period of time, where I made more money from YouTube than I did from gym memberships. And that's the reason for that now, that it changed now, is YouTube revenue right now is like a tiny fraction of what it used to be, like a tenth of what it used to be when, you know, at the peak of my YouTube channel. So YouTube's come down, gym memberships went up, and so gym memberships far outweighs any other source of revenue. Would you consider selling Untamed Strength? No. Maybe when I'm like, no, not at all. Untamed Strength dies when I die. Do you recommend opening and targeting a certain group of people, i.e. hardcore powerlifters, or opening a gym that can accommodate everyone's goals? In my local area, there's 0 powerlifting gyms. I've wondered if that was due to the demand being short, or if it was due to gym owners maximizing customers and starting a universal gym. Okay, do you recommend opening and targeting a certain group of people? I think instead of targeting a group of people or a demographic of people, it would be, I would rather you focus on a theme of your gym. So rather than I do powerlifters, strongman, CrossFitters, weightlifters, if that's your thing, do that. If that's all you want to work with, then yes, run with that. I think that you should know that beforehand though. If you're thinking in the mindset of, I'm gonna open a gym, it's a good idea, who should I cater to? That's backwards. It's more of like, I'm obsessed with powerlifting. Powerlifting is my thing. I'm gonna open a powerlifting gym. You're faking it at that point if you're just picking a certain demographic just to try to keep the gym afloat. I think that you need to know that question beforehand. But I would say focus on a theme instead. So are you a strength training gym? Then your gym should reflect that when people come into that. You should have bars, you should have racks, etc. Are you more of is calisthenics your thing? You should probably have more jungle gym type stuff, more rings, maybe more open area for gymnastic stuff, or handstands and somersaults and things like that. Are you more of a weightlifting gym? You know, you're whatever. I shouldn't say that, that's not a theme, but a strength gym, a calisthenics gym. Are you more of a bodybuilding gym? You should have more machines and more stuff the bodybuilders use. So rather than focus on a certain demographic, just more of a theme. And I would say that, I should say, Untamed Strength is not a powerlifting gym or a strongman gym. It is just, it certainly has everything you need for powerlifting, everything you need for strongman, but generally it's just a strength training gym and everything that's encompassed within that. We have Olympic weightlifting bars, we have kilo competition bumpers, we have powerlifting stuff, we have strongman stuff, we have a bunch of machines, we have a whole bunch of squat racks. I would say that initially, yes, I did try to target strongman competitors or strongman trainees. But at this point, a lot of members come and use the gym because they like the atmosphere. They like the strength training atmosphere. They kind of have that same common goal of strength training for the most part. But there's a huge percentage of members who are not powerlifters, are not strongman, who don't have any sort of title. They just come use the gym. A lot of people use Untamed Strength because they like the atmosphere more than a 24-hour fitness. They like the fact that there's 27 squat racks, whereas, you know, CalFit or In Shape or 24-hour fitness only has 2 squat racks. They like the fact that there's bars everywhere. There's good bars. There's different kinds of bars. They like the fact that they have deadlift platforms. You're allowed to deadlift. There's places to deadlift. So they're not necessarily powerlifters. They just like strength training, and so this gym accommodates that. Other reasons might be agreements with the gym. Like there's no contract, no startup fee, no cancellation fees, stuff like that. And they don't want to commit to a 2-year contract at another gym. So there's a number of reasons why people come to Untamed Strength. It's not just because they're powerlifters or strongman competitors. And sometimes when I'm talking to people, they'll say, yeah, I'm not a powerlifter, like the gym's not for me. There's a lot of people who aren't powerlifters who go to the gym. So focus on a theme more than anything. And then, yeah, in my local area, there's 0 powerlifting gyms. I've often wondered if that was due to the demand. It could be, could very well be that there's not a lot of powerlifting, people interested in powerlifting in that area. If you know of some, or if you want to start that, or if you want to spark some interest, then more power to you. What part of owning a gym is the most annoying? Like, not the hardest or most challenging thing, just the most annoying. I don't deal with a lot of annoying stuff, thankfully. I'm fortunate. I would say that what's caused me the most headaches over the past 11 years has been the people element of being a business owner or dealing with the gym. So dealing with people. And I'm not saying that because I deal with a bunch of bad people all the time, or that that's the majority. It's like a handful. I can count on probably 2 hands the amount of people, the amount of times where I've had just issues with members, whether it was the members having issues with themselves, the members having an issue with me. And so that's been what I've lost the most sleep over, or what's caused the most headaches, is dealing with people. There's a lot of questions here about gym culture, and I guess I'll save some stories for that. But that's been the most annoying, I would say. Sometimes it's just people just being crybabies, straight up adults being crybabies. Just being really selfish, or I sound like I'm totally like complaining and whining about this, but I'm just talking about these specific cases. This is not the majority. I don't deal with this all the time. I'm thankful for that. It's 99% good experience, good people, but there's a very small minority, and unfortunately there might be 50 great people and 2 turds, and the 2 turds just stink everything up. But about being a crybaby, certain things like stuff that's out of my control. My landlord repaving the parking lot and closing the parking lot down. Everyone got plenty of notice, but there's always got to be someone who's gonna be upset about it. You know, take it personally. Like, why are you getting in the way of my training? Just annoying stuff like that. The landlord came and replaced all the lights in the gym a few years ago. And I got emails like, what's with the lights? Why do we have to change them? And I'm like, it's the landlord's building. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'd let you know. Or I'm getting migraine headaches now, and it's from Untamed Strength lights. You know, I'm like, what do you want me to do? Change the lights back for you? Just little things like that that have been the most annoying, I guess. The next thing that would be the most annoying, and it's just all part of owning the gym, would be failed payments. People's cards get declined for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's just your card expires and you don't know it. But just chasing those people down to let them know, hey, your membership has been canceled for a while. Like, you're still coming in, you got to sign up. And then people usually, you know, most of the time people are like, oh, I'm totally sorry, my bad. Let me sign up for it. Here's the funds that are due. Let me sign up right away. But some people are like, oh yeah, I'll get it, and they don't. So you kind of like chase people down, which is a pain, and it is a headache to deal with failed memberships and so on. And you would think, hey, if their membership fails, Untamed Strength's a 24-hour access gym. If their membership fails, just cancel their membership, cancel their key fob. But the gym roll-up doors are always open. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's like 9 roll-up doors. Or I shouldn't say that. So there's 7 roll-up doors. So people just walk in, and a lot of times just not knowingly. But that's annoying, I guess. Do you feel like you should have a client base built first, or get started and clients will come? I think that most people that I've talked to who had immediate success had a client base beforehand. So a situation might be they're a personal trainer at a gym, they have a bunch of clients, and they say, hey, I'm ready to open my own place. And so they bring clients over, they have immediate income. So yeah, that would be the best situation. I think an ideal situation would be you have your own space, like a garage or property where you can train people, then you open up your own spot. But I didn't do that. I started with no clients. So anyways, but that was a challenge for me. It took me a long time to actually get clients, and I was paying rent immediately, a lot of upfront money without having income. So that was how I did it. So it can be done, but I don't think that it's ideal. How would you open a gym today and keep it open? If I was to erase everything in the past 11 years, and today in my current situation, I was to say, you know, I'm going to start a gym and I'm going to call it Untamed Strength. Not a chance. I would not do it. I would, for a few reasons. One, the main reason is I don't have the drive, determination, motivation, and just like pissed off anger and energy that I did when I was in my early 20s. And that's what really got me through a lot of really slow years. I have a family of 4, I have a mortgage, I have a bunch of bills. We do a bunch of stuff as a family. And so I would not stretch my family thin just to try and get this dream of owning my own gym. I would have a steady job and a steady income, preferably doing something I like doing, but that's what I would do now. No chance I would just start from scratch and grind my face all day, every day, just to try to make a few dollars because I really wanted to open a gym. My family would come first. Yeah, so that's my answer. I would not open a gym nowadays. As far as if I was gonna open a gym, it would be a secondary thing. So maybe I had a good paying job and then I said, you know, I really like training. I have more equipment than I can fit in my garage. So I'm gonna get a small space, small warehouse space, build it out how I want, and then charge membership just so it kind of pays for itself. And then live off the income that I'm having from my main job. That's how I would do it. I would not jump ship and go open a gym right now, these days. I think I gotta take this thing off. All right, let's answer a lot of questions about, did you have a loan when you first started? I've talked about this in the past, but I know that not everyone's seen all my YouTube videos. So no, never had a loan. I have 0 business debt. This just kind of rolls into my next few questions that I've seen, but I have no business debt. There was once a time where Untamed was kind of breaking even, so it was making enough money to keep the gym afloat. That sounds good for a first-time business owner, but the thing is, the gym's breaking even, but I still have to live. I still need money for gas and food and to pay rent wherever I'm living. So I had to make more. So I ran up my credit card bill, personal credit card bill, but it didn't have to do with the gym. That's all been paid off now, so there's 0 debt. I have no debt, which is fantastic. I guess I got a mortgage payment though. But no loans. And I think that rolls into, let me find the question so I'm not paraphrasing. So what's the most important piece of advice did you give someone getting started? And there's a couple questions like that. So before I give this advice, realize that this is just my personal advice and it's just from my experience. I am not a master of gym ownership. There's a whole bunch of things I could have done better, a whole bunch of things that I probably could do better right now, but that is what it is. I'm not gonna start my master class for gym ownership. In order to do that, I feel like someone would need a formula and a recipe, like this is how you start a gym. And you would also need to have applied that formula to multiple gyms or for multiple people. I have me, myself, and my experience only, that's it. That's what's nice about YouTube, is it can be informal and I can just share advice, but I can't tell you this is how things need to be done or should be done. But if I was to reframe this question, most important piece of advice for someone getting started, I'll tell you what I think, a couple things that I think have helped me have success with the gym. And success meaning it's profitable at this point. And I've lasted for 11 years and I don't see anything going downhill in the next 11 years. I didn't spend money I didn't have. I started small. If I couldn't afford something, I wasn't going to buy it on a credit card or a loan. So I was smart about my financial decisions. Once I had enough revenue to expand or buy more equipment, I did. But I didn't start really big and then hope that everyone was going to kind of fill in the gaps. I tried to fill in the gaps and let it expand itself. So I didn't spend money I didn't have. Another piece of advice, or I should say something that I think has helped me and I'm fortunate about, and I've been conscious of it ever since I opened the gym. I have not worked with anyone in the past 11 years. It's been me, myself, and I. I have not had business partners. I know that a lot of people who start a gym and a gym fails, oftentimes they go in with a business partner, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, training partner, friend, whatever it is. That relationship goes south, or they have a change of heart. People change over time. Relationship changes, life situation changes, and that kind of ends the business. So I have not had to consult with anyone. I haven't had to rely on anyone. I haven't had to get bad news from anyone or worry about run anything by someone else. I got to do make my own decisions and be fully responsible, which I wanted. And so I think that's really helped me work with as few business partners as possible, if possible, zero. Not saying it can't work, but that's just my experience. Let me rip this bar real quick. Okay, how does one get started opening a gym? How much money to get started? So how much money to get started? That is such a complex question. It depends on what kind of gym you're opening. I've known people who've opened tiny little gyms, like 500 square feet. It's basically a big garage, and just got a few minimal pieces of equipment and did personal training out of there. You look at like history of like Zach Evanesh, Elliot Hulse, the stuff that they started, training in parks and stuff like that. Dirt cheap, you can get started. You just have to know a lot, and you have to know how to do a lot with minimal equipment. And the difference between that and someone who has millions of dollars and opens up this huge gym. I've known two people in particular I'm thinking of who opened this freaking enormous gym, like hundreds of thousands of dollars right away. So it depends on what kind of gym you're wanting to open. The thing is, if you're doing that bare bones Zach Evanesh style, you have to know how to work with people. You have to be extremely passionate. You are the selling piece. None of your equipment is the selling piece. You don't have this showcase to say, look what I've got. You have to work to sell your business. You are what people are paying for. When you have an enormous gym, you'd be like, hey, check it out. And then that just kind of sells memberships itself. So it really depends on what kind of gym you're wanting to open to answer how much money do you need? How much money do I need? I know a hard number in my head. I had $40,000 when I started. And I made a video about this, like how much money did it cost to open up Untamed Strength. And it's almost like a game of telephone. The farther I get from my opening day each year, like it gets foggier and foggier. But I remember mentioning 40,000, but I think I said I opened the gym with 40,000. It was actually 30,000 because I had $40,000, and the first thing I did was buy a truck. I had no vehicle. So I bought a truck for 10 grand. So I had 30 grand to work with. If you look at my first gym tour video in 2013, Untamed Strength warehouse gym tour, you'll see what I spent my money on. It's not a lot. I had an R3 Rogue rack that I took from my garage. That at the time, that was maybe $400. It was a lot cheaper back then. And then I had two BFS racks, bigger, faster, stronger racks, two BFS benches, cheap, not commercial, not like great stuff, cheap stuff. I had a cheap leg press, a cheap squat rack that both are gone now, but I had both those that I got on a deal on Craigslist. Like $500 was the price for a leg press, a squat rack, and some hex dumbbells. I had a set of bumpers. I had a few barbells that I bought at like Big 5 Sporting Goods, or it was actually on Craigslist. This guy had like his own little store. It was like a Big 5 or a small Sports Authority. And then I didn't pay anything for the strongman equipment that I had, other than like, I guess I paid money for the sleds, the farmer sandals, and the stone molds. And then I paid money for horse stall mats. So that was the upfront cost. It was literally like, if I'm guessing, like $5,000 maybe. And then when I signed up at that lease, I had to pay first month's and last month's rent up front. And it was about 1,000 square feet. I think I was paying just under that. It was less than $1 a square foot. It was cheap. So $800-900 a month, I think, is what I started out paying. So first and last month's rent. So that was how much money I started the gym with. And then as far as, maybe this goes back to a piece of advice, financial piece of advice, I would suggest you have minimum of 6 months upfront saved. I would suggest up to a year. So 6 months of rent saved up. And so that's what all the rest of my money went to, was just paying rent when I didn't have memberships. To give some of those financials, it took me 6 months to get 10 members. I look back on this for a YouTube video. I had 10 members sign up, the 10th member sign up on the 6th month of being open. That sucks. That's not good. My membership at the time was $70 a month. So that's $700 a month. Took me 6 months to get that. So I wasn't making rent then. I would say by year 1, I was making enough for the gym to pay for itself. All right, let me do a set and then I'll talk more. Oh, yes. Trying to get these questions to somewhat connect so I'm not all over the place. What and how to calculate upfront costs, such as lease, keeping the lights on, equipment, projected earning overtimes to recoup these costs. How do you assess your membership price? So stuff like that. Here's what I would do. If you know the market, so if you've been a personal trainer at a gym, you know other gym memberships, what those cost in your area. You know how much you charge for personal training. All that kind of stuff is going to be helpful to have in your back pocket because you can make educated, experienced decisions you're moving forward. When I started the gym, I didn't know any of that. I didn't have any experience in any of that. And so what I thought of was this. All right, I'm looking at the space I have and I'm drawing this layout. I said, okay, I'll have 3 squat racks. I'll have 2 benches, maybe 3 benches because one of them could be a portable bench, and then maybe 3 areas for deadlift. And what I did was initially, I just thought of my high school weight room. I thought, man, we got good 30, 40 kids in there working really hard, awesome workouts. If I can do that, like 30 people in the gym at once, if we have these like set rotations, I kind of wanted to mimic that with my gym when I first started. So I said, okay, for the sake of math, 3 squat racks, 3 deadlift areas or clean areas, 3 upper body bench press areas. Let's say I get 3 people in each of those. So 3 to a rack, 3 to a bench, and so on. That'd be a full house. That would be 9 times 3, 27. So 27 people. I kind of set on that rough number. And then I said, okay, if I have to pay this much a month, this much money per month, $1,000 per month, kind of divide that by 27 to see like what I need to break even. Not exactly what I did, but that's kind of the idea. And so let's see what that number is. If I said membership at the start for Untamed Strength was $70 a month, it has only increased $10. It is $80 a month now. And that $70, everyone was grandfathered in. If you were on the $70 rate when it changed, you didn't get charged more. So let's say 70 a month times 27 people, $1,890. And I thought, okay, my rent's like $1,000. I got $890 to live off of per month. That was kind of like roughly how I figured out how that was going to work. A little more about the gym membership now that I'm on the topic. When I first opened, I decided it was not an open gym atmosphere. It was not an open gym atmosphere. So it was like barbell classes, strongman conditioning classes, multiple times a day. When you signed up, you came and did the classes, and I took everyone through the classes. It wasn't an open gym atmosphere. And so if you came into the gym, you were working with me or you're doing my workout. I didn't want to open the gym for open gym. People just do whatever they wanted. And which meant it was small group training for $70 a month. As unlimited, as many times as you want. That's dirt cheap. And a lot of times it was between 0 and 1 person in the class. So it was personal training for $70 a month. You could come 2, 3 times a day, every day. That's extremely cheap, next to nothing. But I didn't really know how to price things other than that equation I gave you. And there's another question about how do you know how much to charge for personal training and things like that. Personal training and gym memberships. I didn't know when I first started, that's all I can say. And there was one situation I remember. Again, I didn't have personal training rates or anything. It was just $70 a month. That's the membership. Come in, I'll take you through a workout. Come in as many times as you want. I wanted to make things simple because my brain could only handle that. And I didn't want to have to explain it to people. So there were 2 guys who came in one time who see my YouTube channel. They came in the first location. They needed scheduled a a session pretty much. They went, hey, I want to work with you directly. We want to cover our squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, our barbell stuff. We want to talk about lifting weights. I said, hey, cool, sweet. So we didn't even discuss pricing because I didn't know what to charge for them. I wasn't going to deny them. So I said, come on in. We spent like 4 hours together. I had nothing to do. I had no clients. I was just sitting at the gym. We spent 4 hours together and we just talked lifting. And they said, when they were done, they're like, dude, how much do we owe you? Like, we've been here for a long time. And I said, I don't know. And they looked at me like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, what's your personal training rate? I said, I don't do personal training. I just train people who come in here and sign up for a membership. And he said, well, we got to pay you something, man. What do you want? And I said, I don't know. I said, a membership is $70 a month, but I'm not going to charge you $70 because you're only here for 4 hours, not a month. And they looked at me like I was a fool. Probably because I was. And so they pulled out their wallet and they just started handing just money, like a few $100. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen this much money in my life. So that was just how naive I was to pricing all of that stuff. I think that now it's really just off of your demand and what you feel comfortable with, what you think you are worth per hour. And you kind of look at what does personal training cost in other gyms. You kind of just go from there. I can't give you a hard number. It's sort of off demand. If you have a full day of clients, you can probably charge a little bit more to whittle that down. If you are really struggling to get people to sign up and they get really scared of that sticker price, then you're probably gonna have to bring it down a little bit. Or offer something like, hey, this is my personal training rate for 1 session or 2 sessions. If you get 3 or more, 3 to 6, it's less. If you get more than 6, it's even less. So that kind of helps you get more income up front. Oh, that was ugly. Would Untamed be sustainable without the YouTube notoriety? Sustainable, yes, I think so. But I definitely think that YouTube has helped the growth of Untamed Strength. And not necessarily because people see my YouTube videos and go, oh, I gotta go train there. Some people do. Like, I just met a guy 2 days ago who signed up and he said, I've seen your videos before, never knew it was at Untamed, or it was in Sacramento. So I signed up. So sometimes it happens. But it has helped more with SEO. And when people Google stuff in the area, when they Google gym, powerlifting gym, strongman, strength training, barbells, whatever they Google in my area, my YouTube channel pops up like first on Google. So like, what's this YouTube channel? Oh, it's in Sacramento. So it's helped a lot with that. Can't give you the exact numbers to that, but there are a lot of people who don't know about my YouTube channel, a lot of members. So it's not like everyone is in there at Alan Thrall's gym. They don't even know who I am. Some guy came up to me and asked me where he can talk to Alan the other day. What has been your best strategy for getting new prospects into your gym? How do you advertise? How do you maintain client retention? What attracts new members more, the equipment or the word of mouth? What retains them, the equipment or the atmosphere? So all these questions about acquiring members, member retention, what's the turnover of members? My approach to selling gym memberships, I'm not a very good salesman, I'm not a very good marketer. I try to make the gym as easy to sign up and cancel as possible. No hurdles, no hidden BS. So there are no contracts at Untamed Strength. There's no startup fee, there's no cancellation fee, there's no contract. So you sign up whenever you want, you start training immediately. When you're done, return your 24/7, 24-hour access key fob, and that's it. I don't market it that much. I lost my train of thought here. So because of that, because it's really easy to sign up and cancel, there's a high turnover rate because people aren't locked into a contract. And I think other gyms would probably have a higher turnover rate too if they didn't have 1 year and 2 year contracts. I've been sucked into that before. I went to a gym when I was in the military. I signed up for a gym, an expensive gym. I got to go there maybe 3 months, and then my schedule changed. I went to night shift. I literally couldn't come during the times they were open. And I told them like, hey, military, like change of plans, orders, whatever. And they're like, oh, too bad. You signed a 1-year contract. So I'm paying every month this expensive fee to this gym that I'm not using. I don't want to do that. If someone doesn't want to train in Untamed, then cancel your membership and it's done. So because of that, you know, I might get excited, or I might see like 10 members sign up, cool. And then 9 leave, and then 5 sign up, and then 5 leave, or one month there might be 5-10 members who sign up, and then the next month 0 sign up. It's just, it kind of goes up and down. And as far as retention, I don't do anything specific. I don't try to really market hard to get members to bring people in. So I don't say, hey, I got a deal going. If you sign up, if you get 1 member to sign up, one of your friends or family members to sign up, you get your 1 month free. I don't do any of that, because then members have to like really convince, there's some incentive to getting them in. Members have to convince their friends to come into the gym so I can get a free month. And that person kind of like begrudgingly comes in, and now they're kind of like just there. Maybe they're there taking up space. They don't really know what to do. They don't want to be there. And I don't really want people, like, if you really don't want to be there, and if you're only there because your friend dragged you in and forced you against your will to come into the gym, I don't need you there. I don't really want you to be there. And what happens is those people sign up, they come once, and they cancel. And so it's like, I just milked a full month of membership for 1 drop-in. And I know a lot of people might look at that and be like, gotcha, I got you to sign up. I don't want to do that. What happens more often is someone will sign up, they don't like it, and they're not into it. Their friend kind of dragged them in, and so now they don't want to cancel the first month because that's embarrassing. So now they go 3 months of like just letting the payment go through, and then I'll cancel. It's like, I don't need your money I don't want your money if you're not going to use the gym. So I just don't like running that promotional type stuff. There are certainly things I could do better, but like that's just one example of things that I'm not crazy about doing. How do I keep members? I just worry about the facility and the services that I provide. I try to make the facility better and better and better. Any profit I get, I want to put it back into the gym. And so I want to make the gym better and better and better. If there's members who have been there a long time and they're taking strongman training or powerlifting seriously, and they've got a competition coming up with a certain set of equipment that I don't have, I'm going to go buy it so that they can train on it. So I just try to really enhance the environment and the service that I already offer. Just kind of beef up what I've got rather than offer a bunch of things for like client retention. I don't have an email list. I don't send them, if people cancel, I don't contact them like, why'd you cancel? Come back. Maybe I can work out a membership. If you're done, you're done. If you want to sign up, cool. That's kind of how I approach that. And what attracts members more, the equipment or the word of mouth? I think at this point it's both. Word of mouth definitely helps members bringing in their friends and family, or just telling their friends and family about it, and then they actually join on their own. So that does help, just word of mouth. And like I said, I try to think about beefing up from the inside out. I try to make this better, and then hopefully that just takes care of things, rather than reaching for people to come into this gym and then it's not what they expected, or not working on the actual gym itself or the product itself or the service itself. But equipment does help. People come into the gym, they look around and they say, man, look at all these squat racks. I always have to wait for a squat rack in my gym. I'm gonna sign up here. The bars at someone just recently told me the bars at my gym are like PVC pipes. They're just so slick. And so he's like, I want a bar with good knurling. So people sign up for that. There's a number of reasons why people might come to my gym versus a commercial gym. Another reason during the 2020 and 2021 around the pandemic was they were sick and tired of the mandates at other gyms. They're like, I don't want to wear a mask in the gym. I don't want to have to like schedule my training session. You have to schedule a 30-minute session and you have to show up at this time and then they kick you out. There's like shower curtains between the freaking machines. Like, I don't want to work out like that. So I want to come to Untamed Strength. Some people like the no commitment thing. They want to go just month to month. They don't want to pay for a 2-year contract somewhere else. And so anyways, I guess that answers the question.